Hello, Naveen.
Good evening, Shweta.
Good
I'm
evening,
ready for
Naveen.
the interview process today.
Yeah,
I'm having
fine. So,
the
Anaplan, yeah, Anaplan 6 to 10 lessons, right?
6 to 10 lessons. I have PPT, Shweta.
Okay, please share
I
me
like,
your screen and
uh,
walk me through that PPT.
yeah,
Yeah, your screen is visible to me, Naveen. Carry on with the presentation.
yeah. Thank you, Shweta.
Yeah.
Today we are going to see the lessons of Anaplan from 6 to 10 in the topics of how to create a module, grid view and blueprint view, line item formats, and system modules, module imports, manual imports, which is done in the module, and some user story with the lookup function. These are the topics which we are going to cover today. We'll be doing some practical implementation too by creating a modules so that we will cover in the 6 to 10. So that let me start with the creating of modules, how the modules has been created. In the sense, we'll be going to the settings bar and we will be selecting the modules. After that, if the modules has been there already, we can decide whichever the place we need to implement that module, so that we can decide at that point and we can implement at the time. And by the next, we'll be inserting the module, we'll be naming the required name of the module, so that we'll be getting the better understanding, or who else by the next model builder who is going to come, he'll be having the better understanding of which modules has been done, which need to be done after that. These are the reasons of the naming convention, which is the module is created. After that, we will be adding the dimension in the modules and the list, which is present in the list and rollups, which we already created, so that we can directly implement that. So we should consider this time and version too, which is the main dimensionality to give a meaning to the module, and we can change the pivot too. These are the things we should consider while creating a module. We'll be seeing the practical implementation in further slides. Before that, we'll be seeing the grid view and blueprint view, what it holds. Blueprint view, which shows the structure of the module, which means formulas, format, timescale, and many structural settings. With maybe like it will be like styles and cell counts. It will show many details in the blueprint view, and the grid view, which represents the contents of the module, which we perform by the calculation, and which we change the format as per the data which we are going to import, and the time scale which we fix. It will represent the data, raw data, which means whichever we created in the blueprint view, which we done process in the blueprint view, that will show us as a structure of that in the grid view. And it will show the result of calculation, which is by the line items is added to that in the module. So that next is we talk about the formats. Formats is differ, it will differ by the datas which we are going to import, which we are going to perform formulas as such. That will be different of line items of datas. So we have number, boolean, date, text, list, time, no datas also. That will contain many formats. This will be performed with many datas, so that this will be helpful, and this should be changed as per the data. Otherwise, the system will show, or the Anaplan will show prompt for that. By the next, how a formula added in a line item. We have different ways to add a formula, but blueprint view is a main best to practice use case, or best use case to do a formula, so that it will help to understand for a model builder who we are. So it will give an idea that how the formula is built, which line items we are building, which line items we can refer, which are the prior formulas has been done, so that we will get a better understanding of that. To make a formula, we should click the line items, and that we should click the line item of that, and the line item will show in the field bar, and by double clicking that we will be having the to box to enter the formula. After setting the formula which we require, which we need, which we are going to implement the data, which we need the data, after that we should click the green icon will be there in that, so that if we enter, we can click enter to, or we can click green icon too. That will implement that formula in that line item, so that the result will be shown in the grid view. By the next, we have different modules as like system modules and times revenue modules, data modules. As such, we have different modules. Now we are going to see about the system modules. System modules which allow model builder to create a central dimension, which means we can refer multiple line items with the different references that will hold the data. The system modules will hold the data of that content, so that the model builder will be helpful to reference that. It will be more do in a efficient way to refer the formula of that, so that it will be automated also. Why? Because automated in the sense, if we are creating a time system modules with the help of time system modules, it will be used with the different references with the different modules, so that it will give a automation of that process. We'll be seeing this in the further slides about this detailedly. This is often the system modules. It is often used in the time settings, hierarchical details and attributes, and mapping the dimension into list or modules, which means time system modules are made by the time dimensionalities and different formulas by creating a line items in the modules, so that it will reference the hierarchical details, which will be such as products, countries. As such, hierarchical modules will be created, so that we no need to do that process again for each and every modules, which will create more load, or it will affect performance of the module. So that now we are going to see about the time system modules. Time system modules is a factor of planning. As I said before, it is used for the planning purpose with the different time dimensionalities. Like the module will contain, or the business users will ask their requirements with future, past, and current. We don't know which period they are going to perform. If we perform with different periods, in the sense, it will be more helpful for the user to. Why I'm saying to the user in the sense, if he want to customize the periods of future, past, and current, in the sense, he can do that in the UX page, which will be automatically updated by the minimal steps, so that we can also reference that with the past, future, and current, so that it will be helpful to make it an efficient way. Now we are going to see the example of time system modules. Now we are going to do the practical implementation of time system modules. So we are going to create the module now. So I said we seen in us first slide of creating modules, how to create. We'll be seeing in the settings bar, we'll be clicking the modules. After clicking the modules, we'll be seeing the insert modules. Here we should name the module name. Here I'm taking this as a module name, which is already I have done, which I have named the convention. So I'm taking that, and the next I'm going to add the line items of that. So that the line items has been added to the rows. Here we no need of list and rollups. Why? Because the dimension has been already set. We no need of any other hierarchical list or any other list and rollups in that, so that we are keeping with this minimal dimensions. So that the module has been created, we can see the line items here. Now we are going to change the formats. The first step which we should do after creating the module is checking the formats. Why? Because the format which gives meaning to the line item which we are going to import the data or which we are going to perform the formulas. So let me take first day of month, last day of month as a line item, as date. Here the current period which we need as a boolean. So let me take as a boolean. This will differ. This format, this requirements, this line items will differ as per the requirement. This is for an example we are taking. So let me check the formats once. We have taken as date boolean. We can do this in another way. We need only the boolean no. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste here. So the format has been changed, which is as per the requirement of the data. Here we can see the reflection of that format. Here we can see in date, we can manually change, but if we have the data that will accept the format of the date which we are going to import the data or which we are going to perform by the formulas. Now we are going to perform formulas inside this line items in the modules. So let we go to the blueprint view. Here we can see when while we talking about blueprint view, we have many columns here. Here we have format, formulas, summary, applies to, time scale, time ranges, and version. Here we can, after creating the module also, we can change the time dimensionalities here. If we no need of requirement of time scale or time dimensionalities, we can click non-applicable so that the time dimension will not be added. So we are saying the system, we already created the time settings as with the current period of Jan 20, and we are placing future as 1, past as 1, and current fiscal year as 2020, and fiscal year label as FY, and current fiscal year start as Jan, and the intervals should be as month, quarters, and years. So we are going to enter the formula here. There's a function which we are going saying the system that implement the start date. So the next we are saying the last date as end, and we are saying boolean current period which should be as current period start. Let me see this in a grid view after creating this formulas. Now just we enter the formulas. In this actual period, we are saying the system to start date should be lesser than the current period. Current period start. Let we say as current period start to the system. So now it will implement which we have given as a previous year, that will be included here. So let we click enter. Okay, the naming convention is not current period start. Let we try with only start now. So now it has been implemented. So now in the forecast period, we are saying to the next opposite to which we done in the actual period, which is start with greater than or equal to. There is a requirement equal to, this will change as per the requirement. Now we require with the current period too, so that we are entering the current period start. Now the formulas has been implemented, the same formula which we need in the forecast month only also, so that we are copy pasting that. Now we can see the data which are implemented. Here we can see the start of the current period. Here we can see the end of that current period. Sorry, end of start month and end of end day of month. This is the first day of month, so that we can see here. This can be altered. This formula can be altered after creating the modules of after performing calculation as per the planner requirement. Now we fixed as a start and end. So the next, which is current period start, which is showing the current period start. So we can see the boolean which is checked, which is in the current period start, so that which other than that will not be checked. So that is performing well. By the next, we are saying that system to current period start. Here we can see which is the current period. 1/1/2020 is a current period, which is a start month of that. So that is also has been placed, has been displayed here with that formula. And the actual period which we said to say with the min. Here we can see we said the current period is Jan 20, which is already I said this is the current period. So which is an actual has been placed, and forecast period which is as we said greater than or equal to the current period, which has been checked. The boolean has been checked on 2021 and 2022. 22 means 2020. Here in the forecast month only, this can be referred for the some filters. So we are creating this line items so that this will be helpful for the user while creating the UX page. So that is done with the time system modules. We created the formulas. Now we are going to create the hierarchical system modules. Hierarchical system modules, which is by the products, as we said, products, location, countries, regions. Now it will be as like that. Now we are taking as country here. Let me copy the module name and place here. And here we need the dimensionality of country. So we are dragging up the country here. By the next, we no need of time dimension. We are removing to the list and rollups, that will be gone. After that, we will be adding the line items which are needed. These are the three line items which we need. We are placing that. Now let me change the format. Here we are going to change the format as text. Why? Because the code will be as in a text format. Now the region which we need is with a different dimensionality, so we are listing up that. This is why, because the recommend if the region is needed in the module, in the sense we can add with a different dimensionality. Now I'm showing for an example. This country only is used for boolean, so I'm adding that. Here we can change the pivot of the table, so we can change to columns, pages, and rows, whichever we needed, so that we can drag and move. Now we are to, for a display purpose, I'm changing the page dimensionality to the columns. So now we import, not import, we are going to implement the formulas in the blueprint view. Here we are saying the system that pull the code of item of to country. Okay, it has been deleted. Let me enter again and click the green icon. Now the formula has been placed for the region. Let me say as parent of item of country. Here we are saying true. Why? Because to check every month's countries, so that it will check every countries. So let me go to the data. Now we can see the parent of country has been pulled. The country code has been pulled. The region, parent of country is region, so the region has been pulled, so that the country has been pulled. Here we set it as country only as true. The all checkbox has been done. This will be helpful for some cases if we need some 5 countries, or we need to filter some countries, in the sense we can uncheck the box which we no need, so that the end user can see the particular data which as he require. Now we back this to actual state. So we done with the hierarchical system modules, and now we are going to see the manual implement of data, which is we are going to import with the file. So that I'm going to create a module with the name of 608, and here we need the dimensionality. We no need of time dimensionality here. Here we need the departments. Okay, we know, 1 second. Here we need the E2 employee list, which is the list which we are going to add, and we are going to add the line items too. Here we need to change the format. The code must be text again. The name must be text again. The department should be as listed. So we are taking the department with the list. We can add why, because we are, if we add a dimensionality with another module, it will consume the performance, it will consume data, and it will affect the performance. For the country, let me take the country list. For the date, we are start date, we are placing as date. For leave date, we are placing as date. Current salary has number. So it is default. The format of the module is number, and the number format is summary. These are the process, default process. Now we are leaving as it is with the normal dimension, normal format. Now we are going to import the process. To import, we should click data. Let me show it again. We should click data and click import. Upload a new file, we can click, but we have the data here. So let me take from here. There's a number list, so we are taking as a code. Why? Because we can't map manually of every process, every names. Now let we map manually. The mapping has been done with the name to name, department to department, and country to country. Department we are ignoring now. For why? Because we are going to implement with the formulas. The region which we know, which we doesn't have in the list in the data which we are going to import. So no need of the region. The roles also we no need of here. Now we are saying the start date format. Start date format must be 21/12/061. So it will take year, month, and date as such. So let we click OK and leave date as the same. We perfectly done mapping. Now we got success without any errors, so that the data has been updated. Let me change and show with some pivoting the view. Now we can see the data which we uploaded has been updated. Now we are going to pull the data of code. Right. Let we enter in a different view. There is another view which we can implement the formula. so that we'll get a better idea. Code of item of, let me reference from generalist. So these are the code which we are going to import. Let me do this again. Okay, the formulas has been fixed. Now the name has been updated. Now we are going to take as parent of item of the E2 employees. So let me reference again. Now we can see the every list which has been delivered with the every line items with the formulas which we pulled from the code which we pulled from the parent just been delivered. The other import data which has been came without any errors. Here we can see the import data has been shown in blue. The which is implemented with the formula has been shown in black. So this is a difference which we can update the formula after that. So only we pulled by the data, not by the directly importing. Why? Because the employee can change the different departments, so that at the time we can't enter manually, or we can't import the big file into the list, into the line items which we have, so that this will be helpful for the model builder or the user who is going to make a plan by after us. So the import process has been done. This is the process. Now we are going to see some example of user story as such. As a CEO or officer of a candy company wants to able to view the employee headcount and the total expenses, which is by the department and adjusted by the employee drivers by country. So this is a perform. We are going to perform a little task as such with creating some modules. Let me create the modules as such. So the first module which we are going to create is we are going to create two types of modules like employee and non-employee expenses. So this is asked by the user. He needs to see the expenses of the employees and non-employees. So let me create a module with the name of ODH non-employee. The naming convention is only for the example thing. So here we are going to add the dimensionality of every location. If we add the child, the every roll-ups of parent will be covered in that, so that we are adding the pages. The time dimensionality. If needed, we can add here. We no need of time dimensionality, so we are removing that. The next we are going to add the employee list, which is by the employees. Now we are going to add the line items. Here we need the time dimensionality, so we need to add the time also. So here we are filtering by the departments, so we are adding the departments too. So we are adding that again. So now we are going to create the line items which we require. These are the line items: shipping cost, rent, utilities, shared cost. These are the line items. Why? Because the data which is given by the user, like what are the expenses that they are making as like gas, water, electricity, and the expenses of their rent or as such, so that we are making that data with the line items. The next we should see the format ones. Here every line items is belongs to the number format, so we no need to alter any formats here. Now we are going to import the data. Here we added as a column headers. Why? Because the data consumes in the column which is by the time, so we are adding that. The location, G3 location, which we need in G3 in location code, and department which we add in the department code. Now we fix the time dimensionality, which is set as year and month, so that we are taking as YYYYMM, so it will match up the process, and these are mapped with the related line items, and the department has been placed with the related code. So now we try to import that. So the data has been imported without any errors. So the data has been came. Now we can see the different roll-ups, and we can see the multiple datas. By the next, we are going to create the employee drivers. So let me create a module of another. We need the dimensionality of country and departments. So we are taking as country and departments. So why we doesn't take regions? Why? Because here the requirement of the user is up to the country level. So if we add to the list location level, that will consume more data, and the data which is given by them also will not match, so that it will have some sparsity, sparse cells, it will be there, so that it will affect the load and it will may affect the performance too. Here the asked time dimensionality has been not asked, so that we know we remove the time dimensionality, and the line items we are going to add as bonus, car allowance, phone allowance, and medical cost. These are the costs which they are asked, so we are adding that. So the bonus which we change the format, in number format we have multiple things to change, like decimal points, currencies, percentage as such. Here they asked is the percentage. Why? Because the bonus should be in a percentage. That is what the requirement is, so that we are changing as a percentage. Now the values has been changed as a percentage. Now we are going to import the data. Here we can see the percentage bonus percentage rate of employee of each country and department, so that it has been delivered. Now we are going to import again. This employee drivers. So employee drivers data has been taken with the G2 country as country code and department as column headers. Why? Because we can see the different departments in the column headers. By the next, we are going to map the expenses. These are the bonus car allowance can be seen in the allowance. So we are matching that. Here we can see everything has been matched as per the order. Here we can see medical cost, medical benefits has been not added. So we click manually map and we mapped that so that the data will not ignored. The data has been imported successfully. Now we are going to add the next module so that we'll be seeing in this with the different functions. Now we are adding this. Employee expenses with the dimensionality of employee list and time as an asked thing. So we are adding the employee list and the line items which we need to be done is start date, leave date, and started. The naming convention can be changed after creating two, and the line items also can be added after creating. So as per the recommend change of the user, as per the model builder understand which is a feasible naming convention that can be changed, or maybe the order which is given to the model builder as per that also can be changed. Now we created the line items, time dimensionality has been added, and the list has been added. Now we click OK. The module has been created. Now we going to change the format. For start date, obviously it is date. Let me copy and paste here, and start date which we need as a boolean. So let me take as a boolean. Employed, which is we need as a boolean. These are the formats which we need. This head count, salary, bonus, car cost, phone cost, medical cost, and the total employee expenses, which should be in a number format. So we are leaving as it is. Now we are going to implement the formulas in that. Now first we start with the start date here. Start date, let me reference here. We need to pull the data from the 608. Why? Because we have the start. We created that system modules, right? So that we are there's a main purpose of the system modules which can be easily supported with the references. So now we go to the EMP2 module. Now we edit this and let me go to the reference of start date of 608. If we select the line item, the reference has been done. Now let me apply that and see the data has been come. The first data has been come. Let me apply for the next two. Let me apply for the leave date as same. Let me edit. Before going to the next module, we should click edit. Then only the bar which is comes along with the different modules. The next boolean started, which we are going to say the system as. start date which is lesser than or equal to there's a system module, so we are taking here. So the start date we are saying the first day of month, so it will deliver the data and that. So this is the main purpose of time system modules, which will create automated process. Why? Because this will reduce the hard coding. If we manually enter as Jan 2019 or as such, whichever the required date, it will differ while creating in a different period. It will be very hard to the planner who is going to build after us. So that let we see the start date, which should be the first day of month. So we should not leave gap here. So the formula has been placed perfectly. Now we are saying that who is employed, who is started should be boolean should be checked here. So we are double clicking this and we making the boolean to set on the head count. What we are saying is how many head counts is the main ask of the end user. So we are saying that who are all started, we are they should be checked. So we are using the if condition, if employed in the sense, then produce one, else produce as zero. This is what we ask. Okay, let me say it as then one. Let me remove the employed. Okay, whoever, let me say the system, whoever is employed, let me boolean. Let me try this formula again. If employed, okay, the process has been done. Now we can see the head count here. So we can see the head counts of how many members are there. We can filter by the year or whichever the intervals which he need the summary or the user need the summary, we can add. By the next, we are going to calculate the salary of them. So we are saying that salary which is multiplied by, let me reference this. Okay, we are going to calculate salary. So we need to reference the salary part. So here we have the salary here. This is not functioned with the time dimensionality. So we are saying the system to divide by 12. So that is a dimensionality we added in the EMP2 employee expenses salary module. So we are implementing that. Next, here we can see it is divided with a different with a divided by 12. It has been differentiated and shown. If not, it will show as a 27 as whichever is placed in that. Let me show that 2 again. Here we can see the actually the whatever data which is said for an year for them has been calculated for a month. So we need to implement by 12 so that the system will separate that and it will implement the data. The bonus which we are going to calculate now, to calculate bonus salary should be there. So salary which is multiplied by the bonus which is set in the EMP01, which we are going to refer that, and we are going to look up by the department and the country. This is asked by the end user. So we are referencing, we are lookuping the different modules with the department, comma, lookup. The syntax of lookup is x square bracket of lookup y. This is a syntax, and close bracket, square bracket. This is a look syntax of lookup. We taken salary and emp2 as a x, lookup as a function, and department as a y. And we mapped with this 2, and the lookup has been added. By the same, we are going to do with the carcast. In carcast, we no need to calculate the salary. Why? Because that is a separate of the bonus. The bonus can be calculated by the salary, so we referred the line item of salary. Now we no need of salary. Now let me click edit and click EMP01. EMP01 has been clicked. Now we click core relevance and we look up by department and look up by country. The phone cast are same. Let me do that again with the different line items. Let me go to EMP1 phone allowance, lookup of department, comma, lookup of country. Let me copy this for next line item 2. So the same naming convention, same formula lookup which we are going to refer that. So let me double click that, and the edit bar has been came. Now we are going to EMP1 and the medical benefits, and we are placing the lookup function which is added to the department and country. Now we are applying that. Okay, the naming convention has been wrong. Let me refer that. Number of list. Medical benefit is not recognized as a line item of the number of the list. Let me check this. What is an error? The format has been fixed correctly. The department which is same. The MP1 which is with the same line item. The same formula which is done the medical cost too. Let me try this again. Just by the medical benefits, now we are going to look up departments, comma, look up the country. Let me try to apply now. Yeah, now has been applied. Now we can see the data. Here, let me pivot in a different view with the it employees and time. Here we can see the different data of different months. So let me pivot again to line item to column. Now we can see the data with the different, what are the phone costs, what are the costs which is spent for the employees, which are the expenses done. Now we are going to add the cost which has happened to them, so that we are going to add the salary too in that. Salary, once again let me click the edit bar. Salary plus bonus plus cost plus phone cost plus medical cost. These are the expenses which has happened to the company. So the result has been produced. After this we can deliver to the data. This has been as per the asked by the end user. The head counts has been delivered and the total expenses by department and country, which means here we can see department by country with the different expenses, line item expenses, which is given from the data with the different modules we already created has been done, and we given the exact what are the costs has been happened. These are the module which we created and delivered the data to that user experience. So finally, the summary is which we covered the topics today is how to create the module, and we see in the grid view and blueprint view line item formats, and so we created the system modules too, which is sys01, sys08, and the system modules of sys00 is created. These are the three system modules which is created. This is a time system modules. These two are hierarchical system modules. The next we imported manually. We imported manually in the different modules, and we performed with the user story with the lookup function. Lookup function we seen in the EMP2 module. So the expenses has been also shown by the user story. We taken this a small user story for an example which we taken today, but we done for a day. This we done. Shweta, thank you Shweta for the time. I'm done with my presentation.
Yeah, Naveen. Thank you.
Yeah, Shweta, thank you.
Thank you, Naveen. You can leave for the day.
Okay, Shweta.